Artificial intelligence is reshaping our capitalist world. But here's a thought. Would it even exist under communism? It's a fascinating question. On one hand, you have AI, machines and systems that simulate human intelligence. On the other, communism, a theoretical classless society where resources and production are shared collectively. If private ownership and the profit motive disappear, would the driving force behind AI innovation vanish along with them? In capitalism, the incentives are clear. AI development is fueled by the relentless pursuit of profit, fierce competition between companies, and the constant demand for greater efficiency. Think about it. Every major AI breakthrough, from deep learning to large language models, has come from a company or lab trying to get an edge over its rivals. In a communist system, that profit motive is gone. So what replaces it? The new incentive would likely be collective benefit, guided by state planning. The goal wouldn't be to beat a competitor to market, but to achieve societal goals, like automating difficult labor or optimizing resource distribution for everyone. But this raises a critical question. Would innovation slow down without the fire of competition pushing it forward? To understand this, we can look at history. The Soviet Union actually experimented with a kind of proto-internet back in the 1960s called OGAS. The idea was to create a nationwide compute network to manage the centrally planned economy. It was an incredibly ambitious project, far ahead of its time. However, it was ultimately killed by political infighting, bureaucratic resistance, and fears that it would shift power away from the established party elite. The system was seen as a threat. Meanwhile, in the capitalist West, companies like IBM and later Microsoft, Apple, and Google flourished. They operated in an environment of open markets and fierce competition, which spurred rapid innovation and investment. The decentralized nature of capitalism allowed thousands of ideas to bloom, and the most successful ones won out. The centralized Soviet model, on the other hand, created bottlenecks that stifled its own brilliant ideas. So, is AI fundamentally tied to capitalism? Not necessarily. As a technological phenomenon, AI is born from human ingenuity. The pure science and math behind it could be discovered under any economic system. The real difference lies in its implementation and scale. A centralized communist state could, in theory, direct all of its resources into a massive, unified AI project. It could control the data, the hardware, and the research goals with an iron fist. There would be no competing models, no messy market dynamics, just one state-sanctioned AI. In contrast, decentralized capitalist systems allow for a chaotic but incredibly dynamic environment where anyone with a good idea and enough funding can experiment. This leads to rapid and often unpredictable progress. This brings us to the ethical and political dimensions. In a capitalist framework, we're already grappling with issues like surveillance capitalism, where AI is used to track our behavior for profit. In a communist society, the goal might shift from profit to social welfare. Imagine an AI designed not to sell you things, but to perfectly manage public transportation, allocate healthcare resources, and ensure everyone has what they need. It sounds utopian, but history gives us a stark warning. Communist states have often used technology for social control and surveillance. Could an all-powerful, state-controlled AI become the ultimate tool of totalitarianism, monitoring citizens and suppressing dissent with ruthless efficiency? We're left with a chilling comparison. Fabovbizi modern. Easy mus, that would AI for profit. Versus Igishizlovwad, does AI for control. So let's explore these two alternative futures. On one side, you have the utopian communist vision. In this scenario, AI is open source, transparent, and developed collaboratively for the good of all humanity. It automates all undesirable labor, freeing people to pursue creative and intellectual passions. It manages resources with perfect fairness, ending scarcity and inequality. It's a world of post-labor abundance, the ultimate realization of the communist ideal. On the other side, you have the dystopian vision. Here, AI becomes the backbone of an inescapable surveillance state. It's a centralized system that tracks every citizen's movements, conversations, and even thoughts. It assigns social credit scores, determines who is a loyal party member, and identifies dissenters before they can even act. This AI isn't a tool for liberation. It's a digital cage, enforcing conformity and obedience on a scale previously unimaginable. Given human history and the tendencies of centralized power, which of these scenarios seems more likely? The answer probably lies somewhere in the messy middle, but the risk of the dystopian outcome is undeniably high. Karl Marx famously wrote, "The hand mill gives you society with the feudal lord, the steam mill society with the industrial capitalist." It makes you wonder, what kind of society does the algorithm give us? It seems AI itself isn't inherently capitalist or communist. It could exist under either system, but its purpose, its design, and who it ultimately serves would be radically different. Under capitalism, AI is a tool for generating wealth, often concentrated in the hands of a few. Under communism, it could be a tool for collective management, but with the immense risk of becoming an instrument of absolute control. This leads us to the final crucial question. Is the nature of AI defined by the economic system it's born into, or is it simply a reflection of a deeper, unchangeable aspect of human nature itself?